Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be doing another refutation of Cyprus Speaks on his video of 2 huge reasons why Islam is wrong. I actually came across this video when I was looking for something else, and I remember that a while back I did a refutation on another one of his videos in which I said about his, fake ex-Muslim story, because he was never a Muslim. And I refuted that, so I decided I'm just going to refute this as well. As of today, this video is apparently 9 months old, so I can't remember when his ex-Muslim story was posted, but apparently a year or so, 2 years later, he's still going on about it. So yeah, but let's get into it.
Out of curiosity, what advice would you give to Tyrese as a man of faith who once seeked God's face for answers? The advice I would give Tyrese, I would encourage him to keep searching. I wouldn't say, "Hey, bro, stop, chill out, stop." Like, no, keep searching for answers, bro. I definitely would say that. What I would want to do is I would want to give him some resources to help him study better. I would want to see what questions he has about Islam. And honestly, I would tell him about a lot of the fallacies within Islam. There's a bunch of different fallacies that I've mentioned before, where whether we're talking about the fact that Muhammad himself.
Okay, really quick. Obviously, he's doing a Christian podcast, and I'm assuming the person who was asking this question was Muslim. So my question is why is apparently a Muslim asking a Christian questions for Islam in the first place? That's a bit iffy for me. Unless he's a Christian who happens to be looking into Islam. But again, why is a Christian asking a Christian about Islam? Ask a Muslim about Islam. I'm not going to go to a Hindu to ask them about Christianity. I'm going to go to a Christian to ask them about Christianity.
The founder of Islam, if you know the way that it started, based on Muhammad's own testimony, he was away. He went off into a cave. He was dealing with a lot of depression, anxiety. He had a bunch of different mental issues. And he was away at a cave, secluding himself, and a demon.
Okay, so first off the bat, yes, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, did used to spend time in the cave, meditating and thinking about things. But to say that he had mental issues and depression and everything else is wrong. Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was just thinking about, life in general. Why are we here? What's our purpose? That sort of thing. The same thing that philosophers think about. So what he's essentially saying is that all philosophers now have mental issues, because that's why they need to think about these things. So yeah, his logic is flawed from the very beginning.
This is what Muhammad said. He said to what he thought was a demon came to him and said, "Hey, I am the angel of the Lord. I am Gabriel, and I've come with a message about the message of Allah." Muhammad went home, told his wife Khadijah. By the way, his wife Khadijah was 40. He was 25. She had money. She was the breadwinner. He was completely poor. She held the influence. Just that being said, she paid the bills, all of that.
Okay. Yes, he did run home to his wife. And my now question is why did he feel the need to bring up the ages between them? Secondly, Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, wasn't poor at that time. He was incredibly wealthy. He was a very well-off caravan merchant. Khadijah radiallahu anha was just the one who happened to own the company that he worked for, in a sense. So to turn around and say that she was the sole breadwinner is wrong. He earned his own money. He earned his money through working for her. So yeah, he wasn't poor at all. This man has no idea what he's talking about.
He went to her and said, "Babe," this is paraphrasing, it's the modern day version. "Babe, boo, baby girl, yo, this demon just came to me and said he got a message from God, but it's a demon." His wife, and these are literally in the teachings of the Hadith. The Hadith is a secondary book for Muslims. It's kind of like their book of laws and rules and different things like that. But it also has a lot of stories and other things. It's mentioned in the Hadith and partially in the Quran as well. But he's like, "Yo, no, it was a demon." And she says, "Oh no, babe, it was an angel." "Yeah, it was an angel." He's like, "No, it was a demon." She was like, "No, it's an angel." So she tells him to trust it. He goes back and he's like, all right, I guess it's an angel. And then he then receives the instruction that eventually became Islam. And this is not something like Muslims don't know. This is a story that's known within Islam. And it's like, yo, two questions real quick. First off, whenever in the Bible did anyone ever mistake an angel for a demon?
Okay, so yes, the angel Gabriel, did appear to the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. And obviously that's when he received the first revelation, reciting the name of your Lord, who created man from a clot of blood. And yeah, and obviously he ran home terrified. Anybody would. You have to remember that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, at this time had a relatively normal life for his time period. He wasn't 100% like his peers in the fact that he wasn't an idol worshipper. He wasn't selfish and greedy and tried to make as much money as he could off the pilgrims visiting the Kaaba. But yeah, and which is one of the reasons that he used to like to go up to the cave and think about things and think about the poor, because remember, he was an orphan. Both of his parents, well, his father died apparently before he was born, and his mother died not long after she'd given birth to him. So yeah, there it is. So yeah, of course he thought he would go on insane. Anybody would. You have a normal life, and then all of a sudden an angel appears to you. So yeah.
I'll wait. It never happens. No one ever mistook an angel for a demon. If anything, people mistook angels for God.
Okay. For starters, where has he gotten that from? That people mistook angels for gods? I've never heard that part in the Bible, unless maybe I missed it, but Allahu Alam. Now, the second reason is the fact that this is a problem with the Christianic view, or the biblical view of what angels are. Because if you look at a lot of these sculptures that you see, angels, these little babies that have wings and they're little chubby and cute and they have parps and everything else. That's not what an angel is. An angel is a terrifying figure. Apparently, at least according to what the Hadiths say, and the Quran says and everything, that their wingspan is enough to take up the horizon as far as you can see. The distance between like the bottom of their earlobe to this part of their shoulder is a distance of about 70 years. So it would take you 70 years to go from here to here on an angel, because that's how big they are. So of course they're terrifying creatures, but they're not demons. He assumed that he'd gone insane. Like I say, as anybody would if you've had a normal life up until that point. Next thing you know, that an angel appears to you. But yeah, so this is the reason why Christianity is wrong in their description of angels. They're not cute little creatures. They're terrifying.
Because the angel was so glorious and magnificent. And once they began worshiping the angel would be like, yo, I'm just an angel. Chill out, Playboy. Hold up, chill out. No one ever mistook an angel for a demon. People were fearful of angels, but they were fearful because of their own sin. Because in the glory of an angel that's constantly been in the presence, the raw presence of God, all you can see and feel is your sin when you're in front of something that's so holy. But no one ever thought it was a demon. So for this man to say, hey, this is a demon, I don't think it was an angel. I'm pretty sure it probably was a demon. But then to take it a step further and to say that he had a firsthand account that it was a demon. Someone else who had a secondhand account, a third party, says, no, it's an angel. Bro, you're not even there. Like, I actually was there. How are you going to tell me? But of course, again, you're the breadwinner. You're much older. Muhammad was he was poor. He didn't have much, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So that's one of the things they discuss within the faith where it's like, hey, that's amazing.
Okay. Again, I don't know why he felt the need to bring up the fact that she was older and the breadwinner, because she wasn't the breadwinner at all. He earned his own money. And also, the society of the Arabs at that time, women were, they used to kill their daughters back then, so that shows you kind of, because they didn't want the shame of having, their firstborn be a girl. So yeah, and there it is. So yeah, that's the first, but he obviously has no idea what he's talking about at all. He clearly hasn't studied the history of this. And the second thing is, it's kind of ironic that he's saying it's a second-hand account. The entire Bible is a second-hand account. At best, it's a second-hand account. That's only because apparently the author of the oldest gospel, they don't know which one it is, may have been a scribe for Peter, one of the disciples. So yeah, it's a second-hand account. It's essentially the student of one of the companions, you know, being the one who wrote down all of the Quran. So yeah, all of Christianity is a second, third, fourth, or fifth-hand account at best. So yeah, he's a bit hypocritical of him kind of making that claim there.
Major flaw. And we could go on and on. I'll say this other one because this is one that I think is beneficial for Christians to know when talking to Muslims, is that, when talking to Muslims, is that if you look in the Quran, I'll just say it like this: the Quran does not understand Christianity. It doesn't understand the Trinity. So if you read in the Quran, in the Quran, they talk to Jesus. Of course, it's not really Jesus, but the angels have a conversation with Jesus, and they approach Jesus as a prophet, not as the Messiah, of course. They also don't believe that Jesus died on the cross. They believe he was on the cross, but that Allah made a cloud pass over it, and God switched Jesus out for Judas, and Judas ended up dying on the cross. Anyway,
Okay, I don't know where he's got the thing about the cloud from. Maybe I just haven't read that yet. But again, and also there's no evidence that it was Judas. That's just a very popular belief amongst Muslims. I've never read any evidence that it was Judas. I've also seen other evidence that apparently it was Simon who was replaced on the cross. I don't know. But yeah, so again, I think he's confusing popular Muslim beliefs with authentic Muslim beliefs. You know, kind of like when people confuse culture with religion. He's kind of doing the same thing here. So, yeah. Now, he is right. We don't believe that Jesus, peace and blessing be upon him, did die on the cross. We believe that he went through, you know, he performed all the miracles that he was reported to have performed, and even some that Christians don't have him performing that Muslims do. But we don't believe he died on the cross. We do believe he was switched out with somebody else because that was Allah's will, and obviously Allah's God, he can do whatever he wants. But we don't know who it was switched out with. Some people do say it was Judas, other people say it was Simon, or Peter, or, you know, one of the other disciples, or whoever. So, yeah.
Let me bring it back. So they teach that the Trinity means we believe in three gods. So they literally question. You can look it up. You can type this in Google. I forget which surah it's in. But you can type it in where they questioned Jesus and they said, "Did you say Allah is three people?" And then Jesus responded, "No, I did not say Allah is three people. I never said that." And then they were like, "Well, that's what your followers are saying. Your followers are saying Allah. Your followers are saying that Allah is three gods when he's just one God." So the major flaw within this, and I know this is kind of like, oh, what does this have to do with anything? The major flaw is that their own book doesn't understand the Trinity. Their own book doesn't understand what Christians believe about the Trinity. Their own book thinks that Christians believe in three gods when we believe in one God, three persons.
Yeah. We know that Christians believe in supposedly one God but three people. The problem is the fact that Christians will say that the Father is God, which is the part of the Trinity that Muslims actually believe in. You know, we believe that the Father, you know, being all created, all powerful. We just don't believe he was a father because we don't believe God has children. But the problem with the Trinity is the fact that you've got the Father who is God, and then you've got the Son who is also God at the same time the Father is still God. That's a problem. That's not even before you even get into the Holy Spirit side of things. Because now, if Jesus had come down and said, "I am God in the flesh," bearing in mind he never said that in the Bible anywhere. There is no unequivocal statement in the Bible where Jesus said, "I am God." He didn't. People assume that he meant that. But if it was that, figured something so critical to the basis of someone's faith would just be right there in plain writing. So, yeah, that's the first thing. But yeah, they do believe in multiple gods because a god, one of the definitions of God, it has to be all powerful. And the problem with the Trinity is the fact that the Trinity everything's considered all powerful and co-equal. You can't be all powerful and co-equal with something, because that means you're sharing the power, meaning you're not all powerful. The Trinity is logically flawed on so many levels, it's unbelievable. But yeah, let's go on.
So if your book, and this is a conversation I've had with many Muslim brothers and sisters, if your book is ignorant about my beliefs, but speaks about my beliefs as if it knows what my beliefs are, but it's wrong, then your book is completely ignorant and flawed. And if your book is ignorant about my beliefs, the creator of your book cannot be God, because God is all knowing. If God doesn't know what Christians believe.
Hang on a minute. So he says God is all knowing, but they believe that Jesus was God, but Jesus wasn't all knowing. He's just debunked the belief in Trinitarian Christianity.
Let's say for a second Allah is God. If he doesn't know what Christians believe, he cannot be all knowing, because if he was all knowing, he would know what we believe. So therefore, if he is not all knowing, he cannot be God. And there's a bunch of other different examples of things that we can discuss and talk about. I'm not as well versed as I was, because I haven't read the Quran or the Hadith in many years, because I don't debate people as often as I used to. Y'all live in the comments now. I see what y'all like to talk about. Y'all real live in the comments now. Let me scroll up a little bit to make sure I'm not missing what y'all are saying. And then we'll make sure we get back on track, so I'm not going over. So you mentioned, Kirshen says he even tried to commit suicide, if I'm not mistaken, once. Yes, he did. Thank you. Yeah, Muhammad dealt with some very extreme depression back then. Very extreme depression.
Again, when did he try and commit suicide? Yes, he was freaked out because he thought he'd gone insane, as again any normal person would.
And anxiety and fear, heavy fear. Yeah, so wow, thank you for this lesson. I had no idea, but Muslims love to teach that we believe in the same God. My Muslim friends love to tell me this, the same for my ex-boy. Yeah, they love to say that.
Because it's true. Arabic Christians, what do you think they call God? Allah is just the Arabic word for God. You know, Jesus wasn't his real name, you know, because Jesus is the Western interpretation of his name. He wasn't called Jesus in the Hebrew language. So, yeah, Arabic Christians, when they want to say God, they say Allah, because that's the Arabic word for God. Same as in Spanish, they say Dios, because that's the Spanish word for God. It's not a separate God, it's literally the name God in another language.
They love to say that all the time, but what's really funny, they'll say that to the women 9 times out of 10. They be like, baby girl, we believe in the same God, girl. But let a Muslim girl try to date a Christian man. They not having it. No, you can't do. If we believe in the same God, what does it matter? What is it?
It's not about the belief in the same God. It's how you believe in that God. The reason why that, for example, Muslim men can date non-Muslim women, or marry non-Muslim women, I should say, but it's not the same the other way around, is because the husband will have an effect on his wife's religion. He will have an effect on his children's religion. That's essentially why it is. Because if a Muslim woman was to marry, say, a Christian or a Jewish man, or, you know, another person of the book, for example, chances are they would end up leaving Islam and their children would not be raised Muslim. That's essentially all it is. Because the father is usually the commanding voice within the household. That's all it is.
It matter. And literally that's one of their laws and their rules, that Muslim men are allowed to date outside of their faith, but the women can't. The women have to marry a Muslim man.
Okay. So yeah, that's everything, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything that I got wrong, if there's anything that I missed. I definitely thought this was interesting, to say the very least. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. But yeah, that's all for today, guys. Take care. And until next time, peace.